IMRC, so I read everybody.
On behalf of the Indian Muslim Relief Charities, I would like to welcome you all to our lunch banquet. I know many of you are here for the ISNA convention, and our chief guest has arrived. We want to have a few minutes for people to meet and greet, and then we'll be starting our program very soon. We would like to start the program with a recitation from the Quran. I'd like to ask Sheikh Alauddin Al-Bakri to come here and do the recitation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسألونك عن الأنفال قل الأنفال لله والرسول.
We would like to start the program now with our first speaker, who's sitting to my immediate left. Mita Pal you all needs no introduction with you. Many of you know who he is. And so I'd like to start. He's the managing editor of the Progressive magazine and the author of Islam Means Peace, Understanding the Muslim Principle of Nonviolence Today. So I'd like you to please welcome with a warm round of applause.
Remarkable Sufi saints. Kashmir is Sufi Islam, Sufi saints spread Islam, and it's still a very Sufistic form of Islam today. And these are, Salman Ahmed is performing actually tonight. Remarkable Pakistani American rock star, A.R. Rahman, Yusuf Endur, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, very heavily influenced by Islam in their life and work. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, who I spoke about. There's a chapter on him in my book. You must read that chapter. Remarkable story. 100,000 Pashtuns, and remarkable story of his alliance with Gandhi. Of course, Maulana Azad Zakir Hussain you all know of. Gandhi of the Balkans, another remarkable story in the 1990s in Kosovo. Non-violently resisted Milosevic for 10 years. Another unheard of story in the West. Iran's Green Movement just a few years ago, 2009, still continuing. Israel-Palestine war, quite a bit. Pakistan's lawyer movement in 2008 ousted Pervez Musharraf. The Maldives, and then we come to the Arab Spring. So all of that is there in my book. It's available at cost for $30 each, and really I think what I have in my book I meant for both for Muslims and non-Muslims. It's a wonderful compendium of non-violence in Islamic theory and in practice, in non-violent practice in modern contemporary Muslim societies. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is also with IMRC, Masood Qadri. He has just returned from India and has a very up-to-date report on Assam, the Vice President of IMRC. And I would like to welcome him up to the stage, and they also have a presentation.
Assalamu alaikum. You have heard the presentation several times, what IMRC does. I'm not going to go into those details. Barrister Asaduddin is here, you know that, and he's not only a bold member of parliament, but a prolific speaker, so you'll hear a lot from him. What I'll do is very quickly talk about Assam in a few seconds, couple slides, and then turn it over to Sheikh Al-Bakri. He will give you the point of view that he has visited India other than me, and then you will hear about the projects from him. Assam is still burning, so to say, and the riots have calmed down, but the disturbance is still there. As a matter of fact, I was not able to go to the camps that are interior. I was stopped at Guwahati because of the lack of security. I didn't get the same security that our MP got, along with the gunmen and all. So I was not able to reach there. Anyways, he did not get that security either. So he will tell you the other details. But currently, the riots have calmed down, but still murders are going on, and even in the camps. And current need, I'll jump on to that one right away, is still a lot of relief is needed in the form not of just clothing, but food, mosquito nets, health-related package. We have been talking about that with our MP, Mr. Obesi as well, and survival kits still are needed, tents that are still needed. We have sent just now a bus load from Hyderabad, medicines and team of doctors. That's going to go on for 6 months. It's not a short term, just for a week. It's going to go on for a much longer period.
I went to India approximately 4 or 5 months ago, and I didn't know what to expect. This was my first visit to India. I traveled quite a bit around the world, but most of my travelings take me to the Muslim world and to Europe and other places. So before I left, some people tried to cloud my judgment about India and what to expect. So before I went, I said I'm not gonna let any of these preconceived notions of what I'm going to see and experience. I landed in Delhi, and it was very interesting for me that as I was taken from the airport to the place where we resided, that I just noticed many Muslims in Delhi. One thing I was told that I'm not going to see many Muslims, they will not be noticeable. So my observation that I was able to see all of these brothers who are wearing the sharwal, kameez and kufi and beard, and the hijabi sisters, and I was just stunned of how many people I saw on the way from the airport to there. Of course, the primary goal of my visit was to visit the projects of IMRC in India. But I also, in my mind and heart, I wanted to see India. Not only I wanted to see IMRC, I wanted to see India. I wanted to experience the Indian society, the Indian nation, India as a country. And depends on me and you know, white bet on themselves as we need some of your blessings. You guys are amazing. And I thought that, you know, I am the one who admires the Muslims in India, but I got so much admiration that I was stunned how people treated me. What you are making through your donation today, you are making history. Because just like your grandparents, whatever they did, it's paying off today. Whatever you do today will pay off for your grandchildren. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless India, Muslims in India, and all over the world. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Jazakumullah.
Azhar Aziz, please welcome in.
الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لله ملك السماوات والأرض وما فيهن وهو على كل شيء قدير. صدق الله العظيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين، اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين، اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. I personally feel, since I have been associated with IMRC for the last 15 years, one of the best things that has happened to the Indian Muslims who are living in America is the birth of this beautiful organization called as IMRC 3 decades back. This organization has provided a platform to American Muslims of Indian origin to give their sadaqah, to give their zakat donations to our dear brothers and sisters in India. My dear brothers and sisters, I also want to remind you of this report that came out in 2006 by such a committee. It was headed by a former Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Rajinder Singh Sachar. He said, and I would like to ask you to pay attention to his quote, he said that in any country, the faith and the confidence of minorities in the impartial functioning of state is the acid test of being a civilized state, and this is an accepted wisdom. My dear brothers and sisters, we all know, since most of us come from that part of the world, that every single day for many families is a challenge. We are so blessed to live in America where we enjoy many mercies and many bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for our brothers and sisters in India, to have one plate of meal in an entire day sometimes is a luxury of life. Even in America, there is a famous saying that says that there are no free lunches in this world. So if you want to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to follow His commandments. Because every single day, these orphans, these widows, these poor people, these needy individuals, our own brothers and sisters, every single day are raising their hands and making dua for you. So please, don't hold back. Please try to bring a smile on the faces of these individuals who have almost forgotten to smile. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Tabassumuka fi wajhi akhika sadaqa." Even a smile is a charity. Let me see if we can get few hands for 25,000. So once a poet, he said, "Baharon ke mausam abhi ठहर जाएं, गम में डूबे हुए काफिले गुजर जाएं, बाहर आने से पहले बहुत जरूरी है, जो जख्म पिछली बहारों के हैं वो भर जाएं." My dear brothers and sisters, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminded us in a hadith where he mentioned, "Ma naqasat sadaqatun min mal," charity will not decrease wealth.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now is the moment we have been waiting for. Our keynote speaker, Asaduddin Awaisi Sahab, is here all the way from Hyderabad only for ISNA convention. And we are really delighted and welcome him. And when I started reflecting about Awaisi, when I came to America in '68, I have attended few speeches of his father, Rahimullah. And then when I saw his bio, for some reason I thought he is an older person. But he was born, should I say the age? He was born in '69. That means he was born after I came to America. But since then, his work, anybody who is watching politics of India and watching the debates in the parliament knows him. He does not need the introduction. And we had sent 2 weeks ago a 10 minutes of his speech in one of our emails. And next day, we got the maximum responses, the number of people who have watched. So Alhamdulillah, that tell us that people are listening and watching. So we thought that I was really moved when I heard that speech after his visit to Assam. So I invited him at the last minute. He graciously accepted it, and I'm very thankful to him for coming all over from India and be among us and share his thoughts and his observation, especially which he saw, which we did not. So I invite Asaduddin Awaisi Sahab. Please give him the warm welcome.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وعليكم السلام. My dear brothers and sisters, I am thankful to Janab Manzoor Ghori Sahab for inviting me. So you have spoken to me on 21st or 22nd of August, and you wanted me to come and attend this August gathering. I'm thankful to Manzoor Ghori Sahab for inviting me, and the reason I'm over here is I have no political purpose. I'm only here to tell the world what is happening in Assam, because this thing has to be told in a very blunt and in a bold way. And the time which I have been given to address you, I just want to divide it into two parts. One is the argument that is being given in Assam is that majority of the Muslims living in Assam are not Indian citizens, they are Bangladeshis. This allegation has to be destroyed completely by historical facts. And the historical facts are that Muslims were the second community which came to Assam. This was way back in 1206 AD. At that time, Assam was not called Assam, it was called Kamrup. And the first Muslims who came to Assam were one of the generals of Muhammad Ghori called Muhammad bin Bakhtiyar Khilji. And then we had another second wave of Muslims entering Assam by, I'm sure the Hyderabadi people know, Mir Jumla, general of Aurangzeb, came to Assam. And then we had the third migration of Muslims into Assam when British annexed Assam from Bhutan under what is called the Treaty of Yandabu in 1826. So Muslims have been living in Assam from 1206 AD. The Muslim rulers went over there and the Awliya Allah had gone to Assam, they married over there and through them Islam spread over there. And as of now in Assam you have, according to the last census of Government of India, which we call 2001 census, we have nearly 32% of Muslims live in Assam. So that is a very, very huge number. Now what is happening over there is that this is the present humanitarian crisis is such a huge that independent India has never seen such a crisis. You have 500,000 Muslims who have been displaced by a conniving state government over there and a biased police force over there. And since last 1 month, more than 1 month, 500,000 Muslims are living in temporary relief camps. Now before I just proceed, I just want to bring to your notice is that on 12th of March this year, the Planning Commission of India had come out with the poverty figures in India. And I am not surprised when they said that the highest number of poor people are amongst the Muslims. And in Assam, and the definition of poverty in India is a person who can manage his or her life with 32 rupees. That is around about what, 64 cents. And I was told by my friend that you can buy a Coke can in 50 cents over here. In Assam, in rural Assam, you have 53.6% of Muslims who are living below the poverty line. That is, they are not able to earn 64 cents a day. And with this huge amount of displacement, you can very well imagine the problems which are there, which they must be facing over there. When this thing happened in Assam, this is not the first time it has happened over there. In 1951, 600,000 Muslims were displaced when India and Pakistan came into existence. After the Nehru-Liaquat Pact, these 600,000 Muslims came back to Assam, the lower Assam. In 61, the then government had forcibly picked up 300,000 Muslims and left them at the border, saying that you are not Indians. Later on, after a lot of persuasion, some of them could come back, some of them they stayed back over there. The fourth issue is that you have, according to a report which came out 10 years ago, that nearly 2 million Muslims live on what we call in Assam Chor Islands. These are tributaries of there's immense land over there within the river. And over there, you have 2 million Muslims who have been living over there, according to this report which came out 10 years ago. There is a huge erosion of land which happens over there every year. And the Muslims living on these Chor Islands, they come to the mainland. And the assumption is that, no, these are all Bangladeshis. The fifth point is that the state of Assam shares 2 districts with Bangladesh. The state of Meghalaya shares nearly 5 districts. And if you see the recent provisional census list which is out right now, the decadal growth is much higher in those districts of Meghalaya which borders Bangladesh rather than Assam. Yes, Dhubri is a district which borders Bangladesh, which has a huge population of Muslims, nearly 75%. But the surprising fact is that these 75% Muslims, you will not find a single Bengali government high school over there. All of them are have adopted Assami culture and they speak Assami language. They don't go to Bengali schools. The seventh point is that this whole issue, why it has erupted now, is that what we say in Urdu, that lamhon ne khata ki sadiyon ne saza pai. We were not alive to the situation which was happening over there, and as a result, in 2003, the government of India had signed an agreement with the Bodos, who are the main perpetrators of the displacement of nearly 500,000 Muslims. They were given administrative powers to run that particular area. And because they are in, the administrative powers are in few people, in hands of few people, and the Bodos comprise only 29% of that Bodo land. The remaining 80%, out of that 80%, 75% are Muslims. So this is a well-targeted ethnic cleansing of Muslims over there, and only Muslims have been targeted in Assam. And Mr. Manzoor Gauri was telling me that in 1983, the Nelly massacre took place. The Nelly government of India says only 1,600 Muslims were killed, but the actual figure is more than 8,000 Muslims were slaughtered in a matter of few hours. And not a single person was convicted because of Nelly massacre. All the FIRs and charge sheets were taken back in 1985 when the then Assam Gana Parishad party came into power. So this time we have to ensure that the FIRs are registered, and I am extremely happy to say that Janab Manzoor Gauri Sahab was telling me that IMRC has tied up with Center for Social Justice and they have assured them that 80,000 first information reports will be registered, and IMRC has given Center for Social Justice $20,000 US in the first phase to start the legal battle. I'm extremely grateful. And Manzoor Gauri Sahab, let me assure you that from my side, Inshallah Ta'ala, from our party will also contribute in ensuring that those 80,000 FIRs are registered. What I have seen in Assam is, I had gone there twice, I had spent nearly 7 days in Assam. I have never seen such backwardness in my life. I had also been to Gujarat in 2002 when the communal riots took place over there. And as an Indian, I thought that this is the last time I'm going to see ethnic cleansing or genocide of Muslims or a program of Muslims. But it is to my misfortune that I'm alive to see another genocide, another massacre of Muslims. What the figures which are being given by the government are absolutely wrong and rubbish. They say that 91 Muslims have been killed so far. I know for a fact that more than 700 Muslims have been killed over there, because the geographical area is such that you find water everywhere. Now bodies are slowly emerging, and 95% of these Muslims who have been killed have been shot dead by automatic weapons. They were not killed by any sword or the daggers, which is the usual course of killing Muslims in communal riots. These borders, they were militant organizations before. They signed a treaty with Government of India, but not a single automatic weapon was surrendered by the ex-militant organization. They have more than 1,000 AK-47s with them. And they have massacred Muslims over there. And you will know very soon that when these bodies will come out, because nobody has yet gone into interior areas. Once you go into interior areas, you will find more than 700 Muslims have been brutally killed, but people who have gone to the interior areas have told me that this is the exact figure. What you and me can do in Assam, this is very important, because just imagine 500,000 Muslims living in temporary relief camps. I can give you an example of a school which I went in Kokrajhar, which is where the real trouble happened. In this school in Kokrajhar, this school can accommodate only 700 students. Over there you have 7,500 people living over there. And I took a team of doctors with me. We were there for nearly 4 hours. And out of the 7,500 people who are living over there, you have 1,800 children who are severely sick. And according to the doctors who are there with me, there were some pediatric good expert doctors who told me that if proper medical relief is not given to these children, these relief camps will turn into death camps. The government over there is giving an antibiotic course. I'm not a doctor, maybe I stand to be corrected. Antibiotic course has to be given for 4 days or 5 days. I have seen with my eyes that antibiotic tablets are being given for only 1 day. Thereby, the whole body becomes immune. They cannot be treated again now. And now I know, yesterday I was told by my friend when I spoke to him over there, that children have started to die in these camps. And just imagine, I mean, all of us, alhamdulillah, are fine over here. Like, God forbid that tomorrow you and me are, told to live in a relief camp. We carry our children and our children are suffering, have no medicine over there. I have seen women who have told me that the last time they got they showered, they had a wash was 15 days ago. They ran away with one clothes. I have seen people, what Mr. Manzoor Ghori through the Honorable MP over there, Mr. Badruddin Ajmal, his organization, Markaz, you have given them some $50,000 and they had purchased some clothes. I have seen with my eyes that when these women were coming and taking the sari which was being given to them, they were covering their faces. And I didn't realize why they were covering their faces, and I kept noticing. Then after this function was over, I went to a lady and asked her, I asked someone, why are these women covering, putting their hands, is it all because they said, no, sir, the reason is that you have seen some 30 families over here, they used to own 15-30 acres of land. They used to own 50-30 acres of land, and they used to give people whatever they want within the village over there, and now they are forced to beg and take clothes from the people. And I have seen people over there who had told me that this Ramadan we used to take give zakat of, we used to take out zakat of lakhs of rupees. Now we are forced to ask for zakat from people. So this is not limited to 1 or 2 families. They were quite well off. It's a very fertile area, and they used to get 2 crops of over there. And a deliberate targeting has been done over there. So this is a huge humanitarian crisis, and that is why Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had called it a blot on our nation. Which I would like to say that it is an understatement. It is a crisis is huge. And if Muslims of India and Muslims of the world don't come to the rescue, I feel we'll be doing a grave injustice to ourselves. Because they are looking towards all of us. And even now, as I tell you, killings are taking place. There is no end, no stopping to these killings by these Bodo militants. These are militant organizations which are still banned by all international governments, which are on the banned list of the United Nations. But it is the most unfortunate part is that the state government is not willing to disarm them. And now the Bodos are saying that we will only allow those Muslims who have revenue records. Can you please imagine that people whose every household article has been burned, he has no proof, any documentary proof, is being told that you produce a proof. How is it that they're going to show that proof that yes, this is the proof I have? They are being stopped from going back to the respective places. And when people come and tell me that no, you are supporting Bangladeshis, it is absolutely nonsense. My counter question to these people is that you had killed me in Gujarat, you had made 200,000 Muslims homeless in Gujarat. Was I a Bangladeshi over there? You had targeted me only because I was a proud Muslim. But these people must understand that by killing us, we are not going to finish Islam. Inshallah, by killing us, more people will accept Islam. And I'm sure that these killers themselves will one day become Islam, inshallah. Will accept Islam, inshallah. Another important point is when this allegation is made that Muslims of Assam are Bangladeshis.
The counter question to that would be, when Bangladesh came into existence in 1971, at that time the population of Bangladesh, the Muslims in Bangladesh were 3 crores and the Hindus were around about 2 crores. Now the population of Muslims in Bangladesh is nearly 14 crores and the Hindus in Bangladesh are only 1.5 crores. I can understand that the Muslim population growth rate is high, but I fail to understand that how is it that the Hindu population has remained at 1.5 crores. My opinion is that majority of these people have entered India. It's not the other way around, because Muslims living in Bangladesh are well off than Muslims living in Assam. This has been proven by empirical data, because the area in which they live is not prone to floods in Bangladesh. Though you get floods, but the area bordering India is not prone to much of floods, and thereby that has helped them over there. And no one wants to answer this question. And BJP and Sangh Parivar are utilizing this opportunity. They are sensing an opportunity in this humanitarian crisis to polarize the whole of India once again, so that they can reap electoral benefits. And that is why LK Advani, the BJP leaders, RSS, Sangh Parivar are saying that this is a fight between Bangladeshis and Indians. This is absolutely wrong. These people are proud Indians. Through generations they have lived over there. Just because they speak Bengali language does not make them a Bangladeshi. If this argument is accepted, then one has to say that Manmohan Singh, because he has come from Pakistan, and Advani, who has come from Karachi because his language is Sindhi and his language is Punjabi, they stand to become Pakistani then. This argument cannot be taken, and this is the worst kind of allegation which can be given to any Muslim, that you are a Bangladeshi. I am not against Bangladeshi, but I am a proud Indian. And that is what is happening. And the downside to this is, I fear, I have said this in Parliament, that if rehabilitation does not take place in a proper way, then India should be ready for a third wave of radicalization. What we are seeing now is that the youths in these camps which we went to, in many of the camps, the youths did allow us to enter the camp. They said, no, don't come, go away from here. When we questioned them and asked them, why is it that you're stopping us? We have come all the way from Hyderabad. This is month of Ramadan. You have 45 degrees of temperature over here. We are fasting. Let us do our work. They are telling us that we don't want this tamasha. We don't want your medicines. If you want to help us, give us weapons. We want to go and live in our place. We want to fight these terrorists. Now, how would you stop these youths from becoming radicalized? And tomorrow, God forbid, if these youths, they lose confidence in the Indian parliamentary form of democracy and adopt a militant attitude, it's again a huge problem for the Muslim community. Because it is very easy to call a Muslim a terrorist in India and to put him behind bars or to shoot him in an encounter. So the Muslim community leaders are facing a two-pronged problem. One is to rehabilitate them. Second, to ensure that these Muslim youths don't go on that path wherein they pick up arms and in this way that they become a huge problem for the whole community and the nation in particular. So this has to be looked into. And I am extremely thankful to Mansoor Wali Sahab that he has taken up this task of providing mosquito nets and rehabilitation. I don't know how to put it in words, because the crisis is very huge, very severe. And people, how do you go and explain to women who come and tell you that what sort of arrangement you have for our hygiene? And the way of the hygiene is very different as compared to urban areas. How do you go and explain to elders who are living in those camps, who come and ask us that, okay, you have held a medical camp, you have given something, what will happen? Do I go back to my village, or I'm going to stay here for the next rest of my life? So these are important questions which I'm sure that IMRC and other organizations who are here based in US can use this opportunity, bring it. And the first thing which has to be done is to let the whole world know that this is a great humanitarian crisis. We cannot keep quiet on that. These are poor Muslims who have nothing to go back to. And unless and until the Muslims come forward to really help them in whatever way you can, the rehabilitation will not start, will not happen, and the state government over there is hand in glove with the militants who are living over there. It is a huge crisis. I don't know how to put it to you. There are no medicines, there are no clean water is there. Children are even dying because of drinking unclean water. We have taken some chlorine tablets with us, which is not enough at all. So I hope that IMRC will take up this. And from my party, Majlis Ittihad al-Muslimin, we have allocated 100,000, 1.25 crores, which is, I don't know, which comes to around about $100,000 plus dollars, and $200,000, and we are doing some work over there, but it is still a drop in an ocean, because the crisis is huge. And if you go to these camps, it reminds you that are you in a war territory? You see burnt out villages, you see charred huts, as if some sort of invading army had come over here, or maybe I have read about Genghis Khan has just swept whole of Assam and destroyed everything in his path. This is what we have seen in Assam. I am not exaggerating, and Allah is my witness. I have seen whatever I have seen. I have told it in the Indian Parliament. I have told it to the media. I am bringing it to your notice. The least you can do is at least please be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that me and you are not in that situation. The best we can do is to pray for these people, because I believe that once we lift our hands upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the weapon which we have. So we have to use this weapon to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on these Muslims of Assam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the tawfiq that we should come forward and help these Muslims. And then I conclude by saying that I'm reminded of a share of Allama Iqbal, Khaza ka, not Allama, but some important, Khaza ka daur hai, lekin ye hamara azam कहता है, हम इन पामाल ज़र्रों को दरख्शा करके छोड़ेंगे. वाखिर दावन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन.
We all should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessings we have here, with the safety of our families and all the health and happiness we have. At the same time, ye Allah ki nashukri hogi if we don't share it. And after half an hour, 20 minutes effort, Alhamdulillah, we have collected $228,000.
Takbir!
We have started phase 1, where we are feeding and clothing. It will continue. Phase 2 is more challenging. I want to make sure, and we support 100% our politicians, our attorneys who are working on the field, that government of India did not fulfill its responsibility or constitutional guarantee for protecting the lives of the Muslims in Assam. Just believe how much it takes to file a case or even go to the court here. I had to go because there were some false charges against me last few years ago. $5,000 just to retain an attorney and say that I'm taking Fifth Amendment, I'm not coming to you. Because unless you tell me what I'm being called for, I'm not coming to you. It cost me $5,000. Can we afford $10 for each FIR? That's what it's going to cost us. 80,000 times $10 is 800,000. And we must raise it. And you will be responsible, I will be responsible. And if you don't, in front of Allah subhanahu, all will be responsible. That's all I have to say.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you.